Hello, Saddleback ID 122 students. I'm open to our week 4, which is going to be the Byzantine Empire. We're going to look at the architecture and interior decorations of the structures, mainly the very large churches, some furnishings, particularly the mosaics and how they were depicted. Right now we have an interior view on the screen of Hagia Sophia in present-day Istanbul, Turkey, which was in the past, it was called Constantinople, the ancient past, after Emperor Constantine moved the Roman Empire to the east when it was being threatened in the west by the barbarians. So you can see into Hagia Sophia here, which is amazing architectural feat, engineering feat, a huge dome. And then below you can see the plan. It doesn't quite look like a full circular plan. We can see the huge dome covered space here, and then the half domes, other half domes supporting the major dome in the center. It's kind of like an elongated basilica plan, but it's basically a circle in a square, basically. So we will go forward with this week with the Byzantine Empire. Research on Byzantine Empire will show there were variations in different structures and church building, although the dome-covered spaces and the gold mosaics dominated throughout. Right now we're looking at St. Mark's Basilica in Venice. I'm sure you have seen that in film. Some people may have traveled there. And you can see how the plan shows the use of the Byzantine, the huge dome-covered space. In this case, we have 3 domes in a row, so you kind of have your cruciform plan, still basically a basilica plan with side transepts, but these circles are all the uses of domes that we'll see in Byzantine architecture. So there's different variations of that. But as far as interiors go, Byzantine Empire, Byzantine art and architecture shows a strong interest in covering the walls with golden mosaics. Remember, gold meant heaven to them. And of course, the scenes in the churches would be about the life of Christ, the Christian themes, life of Christ, and the saints. So you can see the use of basilica. In the basilica, the golden mosaics. You still see the Roman basilica plan, the triumphal arch, the arch, surrounded arch supports, other different elements like the gallery, so forth here. But everything culminates in the apse at the back of the basilica. So you can see the golden mosaics here in the interior of St. Mark's, and still use of the rounded arches. It's just wonderful, magnificent works of engineering feat and artistic abilities to cover the walls with so many thousands of tiny pieces of golden mosaics with scenes from the Bible. Another Byzantine variation we're going to see in the Church of San Vitale in Ravenna in Italy. And in this case, this was a mausoleum, which is a burial church. And you can see it was it's no longer a basilican shape, but it's a circular, centrally planned church in octagon shape. So we'll be reading that. And of course the interior is covered with thousands of tiny mosaics, and of course the scenes from the life of Christ will be repeated again. Motifs in Byzantine art will continue to still be in the mosaic medium, also used on the floors as well. On the walls, more gold and more depictions of Christian themes. On the floors, you see down below here, there's a circular plan design, sometimes making reference to the symbol of Christ as having no beginning, no end. Also, the capitals are very much geometric and showing foliage, little different capitals in the Byzantine architecture. So we really want you to be prepared for the exam this week. Most of the furniture is furniture that would be found in religious places, thrones for the priests and the bishops. There'll be some heavy wood tables, but a lot of Throne could be made out of ivory or even overlay with some other forms. Mainly religious purposes, the furniture will display. So you can see that in this week's furnishings. And once again, we're seeing those folding stools, which we saw early on from the ancient Greeks, the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans. So do cover the readings, chapter 7 and 8 in the textbook, and all the pages in Canvas on the Byzantine Empire. Review the videos, and then you did do a very large review, which will prepare you for exam 1, which will be due at the end of week 4.